crazy stories about your career is your mom.
Yeah.
It's about how your mom just never gave you any praise.
Yeah.
Just like, nope, not good enough.
She was tough. She was tough. You know what I mean? I love my mom to death. That's my heart. It's my girl. You know what I mean? But that was just her way of pushing me to be great. You know what I mean? And she just knew that her son was so competitive. She was just like, all right, let me see how competitive you is. Come here, little kid.
She would pay people to try to beat you up.
Yeah, no. We have gloves. We have gloves, and because I come from my family was all into boxing. My dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family. So she was always tough. So she'll get the little kids in the neighborhood $5 if they can win. We'll be in the front yard, and I beat them all up. I beat them all up. I'd be like, now what? You give me the money.
It's amazing how it worked. I mean, now it's not something like I think a psychologist would recommend for raising a child.
Right.
But sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah.
And it depends on the person whether they can rise to that challenge. And obviously, it made you great.
Yeah, I think that's why I said, I love to hear the doubters, the naysayers, because I think it's something in me from my past trauma with my mom. Me trying to prove her wrong. Me fighting for her, approval. So, it goes back to when I was a kid when, she would say, "Oh man, you ain't gonna win it." And I go out there and win. I come back with the belt, and she taking pictures with the belt. Look what my son got. Look what my son did. You know what I mean? But then, when it's just me and her, you still ain't shit. You ain't gonna win the next one. You know what I mean? So I laugh and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was just, my mom knew what she was doing for me at a young age. She was instilling, mentally toughness because, through anything that's going on in my life, I'm always focused, no matter what it is. It can be a loud room full of people. It can be 50 people in a room, and I could be fighting the next day. And the average person be like, "Man, what is you doing, dude? You got a big fight tomorrow. Like, you need to be focusing. You need to be resting. They need to be out the room." I'll be sitting there. I'll be like, "I'm good. I'm not doing nothing. They just sitting here talking. What's wrong with that?" Because I'm so locked in. Because once I'm focused on something, that's not going to distract me. And I think that comes from my upbringing as well.
Have you ever worked with a sports psychologist or anything?
Nah.
Nothing.
But I used to have to see counselors and stuff like that when I was little.
If you get in trouble.
Huh?
If you get in trouble.
No, I used to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I used to have an anger problem. I used to be mad at the world. And I always tell people I don't know why I was so mad, but then as I got older, I realized that, my dad was gone and I wanted my dad to be there.
Yeah.
And my mom, everything, I do wrong, I was getting a whooping for it. So it was like, that's all I know. You say something I don't like, I'm whooping your ass. You do something I don't like, I'm whooping your ass. So it was just like everything that I was getting at home for getting in trouble, when I go out into the real world, I was, doing the same thing that my mom was doing to me. When I get in trouble or say something or do something that she don't like, I was getting a whooping for it. You're not listening and getting a whooping. So if I'd be like, "Dude, shut up talking to me," and you still talking to me, you're not listening, now we got to fight. I got to beat your ass because now you're not listening. Now you done piss me off. So, I used to get in trouble a lot.
Well, it seems like with all great fighters, they've overcome some serious problems when they're young.
Yeah.
Like every great fighter. It's very rare that you have a great fighter that had this perfect upbringing where nothing ever went wrong, everything was fine, got everything they wanted, anything they needed. It seems like every fighter they have to overcome people downing them, people dismissing them. They have to overcome that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. From school to everywhere,
Yeah.
A lot of people, I don't think nobody but my family members thought that I was going to turn out to be the guy that I am today. Like when I see people that knew me when I was little, they just, You know, like they just want to cry. They just like, but I just can't believe how of a man you grown into. I would have never believed this would be you. Like you talk so well. You ain't in trouble. You doing things for the community. I'm just in disbelief. Like I'm just so proud of you, and I just be like, thank you, because nobody thought that I would turn out to be who I am today. You know, and it just goes to show that it don't matter how you start, it always matter how you finish.
Well, it's also your composure. You know, you have this ability, like you can talk shit in the middle of a fight to someone who's sitting ringside.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of amazing. You're just always composed.
definitely.
You know? I think it's because you've overcome all that shit, but because your mind is centered. You know, it's even when we were talking about cars earlier when I was showing you the Barracuda. You're like, I don't drive any of my cars. I drive my truck. You just listen to all these cool cars you have. You just stay low key.
Yeah,
Stay low key and keep it together. Stay
Yeah.
composed.
I got to. That's just me. You know.
Yeah.
I never want to be nothing other than myself. Like I remember my family members, you know, a couple of my friends, they're like, man, you need to talk more shit. You need to be like Mayweather. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, no, I don't. I said, that's him. That's not me.
Right.
I mean, you see Tank them. You see all these fighters, you know, Broner them. You see, that's how you get the money. That's how you get the money. You gotta entertain. You gotta entertain. You gotta show the money. You gotta do this. I'm like, I'm gonna be myself. And I thrived on that, you know, because when it's all said and done, when all the money gone, when all the fans done chanting your name, now who you really is.
Right.
Now you gotta search and find the real you. But if the real you been there all along, you gonna be happy. You ain't gonna have to, you know, go through therapy. You ain't gonna have to be buying friends. You ain't gonna be having to stay in the sport to hear that chant again.
So have you ever done DMT?